Jimmy Butler's special treatment, team second mentality. This is the Raising Carter podcast. I am your host, Ramon Weatherall. And on the Raising Carter podcast, the podcast that I host, me, myself, and my 8-year-old son, but I'm flying solo on this one because this is more like some adult content right here. Um, we focus on fatherhood coaching. And the main three topics and pillars that we want to focus on are money, relationships, and manhood. Three things that aren't definitely taught in school and for the most part aren't taught in the homes. So we want to right here on this podcast, on this YouTube channel, that's what we doing. But back to Jimmy. We on Jimmy for a second time because I think this is a great example of when you're in a position of leadership, whether the head, you're the father, the man of the house, you're coaching a team, whether it be grade school, middle school, high school, college, whatever. You're a leader. Whether you're the GM of a team like Pat Riley, whether you're on the job, you're a supervisor, a group leader. The only moral obligation you have to do, I said moral obligation, is to be fair, to treat everybody the way you would want to be treated, no matter the circumstance. Well, I think there's some new details about Jimmy Butler's how he's been treated, how he was treated by the Miami Heat that dropped on Friday, the 17th, January 17th. He also played that night after his 7-game suspension. He did play. We can speak on that too, but some new details on how he was treated. Some people think he's been treated unfairly. So let's check this out. Jimmy Butler stayed at mansions instead of Heat Hotel during 2023 finals. Poor Jimmy. According to Ramona Shelby, the Heat gave Butler permission to fly privately or stay at different locations away from the team on road trips, including one instance in which he set up camp at a mansion 30 miles from the team hotel during the 2023 finals against Denver. Western Conference GM. A star might stay at a different hotel, but at a mansion 30 miles away, never. It doesn't happen. Another way that he gave leeway to Butler included hiring his own personal trainer onto their staff, which described as a common practice for superstars on other teams but Miami. One Heat source told Shelburne that one Heat source told Shelburne they let Jimmy do more than we ever let LeBron or D Wade, Mr. Miami Heat, or Alonzo Mourning do. I don't even need to read no more, man. I don't even need to read no more of that. But remember this. Remember when Paul Pierce said this?
I think Heat culture lives, Pat Riley brought Heat culture. And what I want to say about that, I think he's slowly destroying Heat culture. And what I mean by that, this new generation is different now, guys. And Jimmy Butler's at the end of the new generation, but coming up, when you look at when Heat culture started, when Shaq and Lonzo and Haslam and Wade and all got there, look what he's done to a star player since Heat culture started. He ran Shaq out of town. You ran LeBron out of town. You ran D Wade out of town, of all people. one who drafted, who won your first championship with. Then you kind of try to make up for it. Now you running Jimmy Butler out of town. This to me tells me that Heat culture lives and dies with Pat Riley, and if he doesn't change the way he is, being kind of like stubborn and don't want to pay guys, and it's his way or the
His
highway,
way or the highway.
then I don't see Heat culture being the same any longer.
His way or the highway. If anything, he let too much go. This is not just Jimmy Butler's fault. Just like any other case or anywhere else in life, when you let someone get away with more than they should, it's going to come back and bite you. And listening, and this is another thing I want to say, and listening to these players talk about the way Jimmy Butler is mistreated and they don't want to pay him and this and that, man, they sound just like one of your kids, one of your teenage kids, one of your teenage children's friends. The friends that they getting in trouble with, they sound just like them. That's how they'll sound. Backing them up, taking their side, but they just right along with them doing the mess that they shouldn't be doing. Don't listen to them. This man was staying in a mansion 30 miles away from his team during the finals. At the point when you need to be closest and connected to your team, he out here staying in a mansion. Would LeBron do that? Did Jordan ever do that? Did Steph Curry ever do? Like who else done that? Man, all these men I named, they won it all. You've never won it all, but you act like you've won more championships than all of them combined. But it's just not his fault. It's leadership's fault. Because they should have told him, look, the private jets, okay, you want to bring your family out? Fine. But at this time, there's no other time that you should be closer to your teammates than right now when we're trying to win it all. But that's what happens when you listen to other people. You've been listening to other people say that the Heat, they don't, they run their players off. They do too much. They're too strict. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You unloosen the reins a little bit. You unloosen the reins a little bit. You let that player, you let that child, that special child, do a little bit more than everybody else does. And what happens? It comes back to bite you in the ass. Because they know that they're doing more than they should be doing. And they know, and they've been hearing what other people have been saying about you. So they just waiting, manipulating the situation. That's what he did. That's what he did. So no. Why is everybody feeling sorry for him? Why is he saying stuff like this now?
Was this the plan? Did you know you were at 7 games you were going to play tonight?
Yeah, I mean that's what Dad told me. But it was a lot said by everybody, except for me, to tell the truth. So we'll let people keep talking like they know everything, like they have all the answers. And then sooner or later the whole truth will come out. But until then, we will continue to let people talk. And if I'm here, I will get out there and play.
Like any father, any grown ass man, or any grown person knows when a person starts to do this, not take accountability for nothing, you know they lying. You know they on some bull when they start doing this. Oh, when the whole truth, what whole truth come out? You act like somebody's is trying to set you up for, get you indicted or get you caught up by the law. No, this is the team that you play for that's paying you $48 million, that's offering you $52 million next year. This is the team that lets you use, fly privately away from the team. NBA teams do stay in 5-star hotels, but that's not good enough for you. You got to stay in a mansion. What truth is going to come out? I'm talking about this because when you are in leadership, whether it's in your house, you're the coach of a team at work. The only thing you can do is be fair to the people that you are leading. You cannot treat others more better, in certain circumstances, but on the just every day, all day, no. No one deserves that. You're getting paid, you signed on a dotted line. This is how much I'm getting paid. You already getting paid than everybody else. Ain't that enough? But you have to do other things that other people do. And that's the problem when you do that. When you do that at home, when you do that with the team you have, when you do that at work, other people see it. Just like they say, kids, they don't, it ain't what you say, it's what you do. That's for anybody. It's not what you say, it's what you do. So you think you getting rid of the problem when you get rid of him. Or you think that it's okay. I dealt with him. Only thing you doing is somebody else saying, okay, I can't wait till it's my turn. I can't wait till it's my turn. I'm gonna get me a mansion too. I'm gonna fly private the whole season. I'm never gonna fly with the team. That's all you doing. That's all you doing is the next guy is going to try to do worse. He's going to try to do more. The next child is going to try to do more. You let them get away with that? Okay. Well, you know what? When it's my turn, I'm going to get away with more. You let one employee get away with something? Oh, you letting him get away with that? When it's my turn, I'm going to get away with this. That's all that happens. So I'm not just blaming him. I'm not just blaming him. I'm blaming the organization too. You had a reputation for no nonsense. And guess what? You won championships. Stick with your reputation. Only one team can win the championship. Only one team can win the championship. So if you're not fortunate enough to be that one team, you're going to sell yourself out for that one thing when we all know that championships are great, but the NBA, just like any other professional league, is about money. It's about money. The Dallas Cowboys haven't won a championship in about 30 years. Meanwhile, they're worth $10 billion. The Kansas City Chiefs win championship every year and they're only worth $6 billion. It's about money. It's about the fans. It's about building a brand. The Heat got a brand. You gonna change all that for one person? Same thing in your house. You gonna change everything up for this one child who thinks they're being mistreated? No. How many times have we seen families have to tell a child, look, it's time for you to go. You do not want to get with what the program, how the family is run. You think things should be ran your way. You think the world revolves around you. So it's time for you to go. Now in bad situation. I'm not talking about a kid that's 7 or 8 years old. I got an 8-year-old who thinks the world revolves around him. Okay. I'm talking about, someone who's almost grown. And we talking about a man who's 35 years old, who's not understanding where he's at in his career, in his life. Because I heard that he was upset that the Heat were focusing in their offense more around Tyler Hero. What's wrong with that? I would too. How old is Tyler Hero? Early 20s? You're 35. Who in their right mind is going to give you a bunch of money besides a desperate team. The Heat aren't desperate. They're not desperate. They have good young players that they can build around. So they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But this new information only makes you look worse than you did before. And I guarantee you his agents told him, look, man, you ain't looking too good right now. So you need to go back out there and play. You need to go back out there and play and show people, show other teams, audition for other teams. Because here's one thing that everybody needs to understand. Whether it's in your house, on your job, in a relationship, on the internet, you are selling yourself. If you are a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and you want the new iPhone, you got to sell yourself to your parents to make them believe that you can handle and you need a new phone and you deserve an iPhone. If you want to raise at work, you got to prove to your bosses, your supervisor, and he got to take it upstairs to his boss and say, yo, this person deserves a raise. You in a union, everybody's got to prove that, hey, this workforce deserves a raise. If you Jimmy Butler, you got to prove to other teams that you worth taking a chance on. And honestly, the only teams that's going to do that is a desperate team. Because you have a track record of doing things like this. Doing things like this. He wants to make it seem like they are setting him up. They're setting them up. And when the truth comes out, so I'm going to pay you $48 million, let you do damn near anything you want, and then I'm going to turn around to set you up. Like I said before, when people talk like that, they don't want to take any accountability. You know they are lying. You know they have a devilish mentality. If you are in leadership, your only obligation is to be fair. That's it. And when you agree to do something, you agreed to do it. They don't have to treat you. Look at Donald Sterling in the Los Angeles. Like, look, you could have an owner like that. How many years did he just, I don't know, how many years did he just torment and just treat those players like slaves, or not treat those players like objects? You gotta, you're a part of an organization who made you a priority. And you took advantage of that. And this is a great teaching moment to anyone who's in leadership. You cannot let someone, I don't care how much you love them, this is the way we do things around here. I'm willing to listen to you. I'm willing to be fair, but you're not going to change the program. You're not going to change the program, because just like him being an older player, you might have, and you got younger players that's going to carry on after he's gone. It's the same as being a parent. You might have young children that you have to raise. And after this child, adult child, a teenage child leaves the house, you still got to raise these children. But if you let this child take advantage of your leadership, and you give them provisions and let them do the things that they want to do, even though you know you haven't let anybody else do them, you're only setting yourself up for disaster. You're only setting yourself up for disaster. You have to cut that. You got to cut that cancer out. You got to cut it out. And you got to make that person an example to show other people, hey, we don't do this here. We're not going to do this here. Whether it's in your house, on your team, or at your place of employment. If you a leader, you've got to be that way. And a lot of people aren't going to like you for it. If it's at home, it might be your wife or your girlfriend or your husband or your boyfriend. If it's on the team, it might be some of your players. If you run a team, it might be the coach and some of your players. And if you own a job, it might be some of the people that work under you or work with you. But you can't be worried about that because one apple can spoil a bunch. One bad apple can spoil a bunch. Don't get it twisted. And that is this episode of the Raising Carter podcast. I'm not doing no more videos or podcasts about Jimmy Butler, but hey, this was too good to pass up. I think anybody that's in leadership, you need to check yourself and decide, look, this is how we do it and this is how we're going to do it. I'm willing to listen and be fair, but you're not going to run me over. And if you like this video, check out the first video I did about Jimmy Butler. And I'm out of here. Peace.